Hello, here we are. We're going to get going here with Nehemiah. And we left off with the Israelites signing an oath to obey the Lord. Okay, so we're going to pick it up from there. Those who sealed it were, because they signed it and they sealed it, were Nehemiah the governor, the son of Hakaliah, Zedekiah, Sariah, Azariah, Jeremiah, Pashur, Amariah, Melchijah, Hattush, Shabaniah, Malach, Haram, Meremoth, Obadiah, Daniel, Ginnethon, Baruch, Meshullam, Abijah, Mijamin, Maziah, Bilgal, and Shemaiah. These were the priests. The Levites, Jeshua son of Azaniah, Binnui of the sons of Henadad, Kadmiel, and their associates, Shebaniah, Hodiah, Kalida, Peliah, Hanan, Micah, Rehob, Hashabiah, Zechar, Sherebiah, Shebaniah, Hodiah, Bani, and Beninu. The leaders of the people, Parash, Pahath Moab, Elam, Zatu, Bani, Bunni, Asgad, Bebai, Adonijah, Bigvai, Adin, Ater, Hezekiah, Azer, Hodiah, Hashem, Bezai, Hareph, Anatoth, Nebai, Magpiash, Meshullam, Hezer, Meshezabel, Zadok, Jaddua, Pelatiah, Hanan, Ananiah, Hoshea, Hananiah, Heshub, Halahesh, Pilha, Shobek, Rehum, Hashabna, Maaseiah, Ahiah, Hanan, Anan, Melech, Haram, and Bana. The rest of the people, priests, Levites, gatekeepers, musicians, temple servants, and all who separated themselves from the neighboring peoples for the sake of the law of God, together with their wives and all their sons and daughters who were able to understand. All these now join their fellow Israelites, the nobles, and bind themselves with a curse and an oath to follow the law of God given through Moses, the servant of God, and to obey carefully all the commands, regulations, and decrees of the Lord our God. We promise not to give our daughters in marriage to the people around us or take their daughters for our sons. When the neighboring peoples bring merchandise or grain to sell on the Sabbath, we won't buy from them on the Sabbath or on any holy day. Even every 7th year, we'll forego working the land and we'll cancel all debts. We assume the responsibility for carrying out the commands to give 1/3 of a shekel each year for the service of the house of our God, for the bread set out on the table, for the regular grain offerings and burnt offerings, for the offerings on the Sabbaths, at the new moon feasts, and at the appointed festivals, for the holy offerings, sin offerings, to make atonement for Israel, and for all the duties of the house of our God. So they're going to support the temple. We, the priests, the Levites, and the people have cast lots to determine when each of our families is to bring to the house of our God set times each year a contribution of wood to burn on the altar of the Lord our God, as it is written in the law. We also assume responsibility for bringing to the house of the Lord each year the first fruits of our crops and every fruit tree. As it is also written in the law, we'll bring the firstborn of our sons and our cattle and our herds and our flocks to the house of our God, to the priests ministering there. Moreover, we will bring to the storerooms of the house of our God, to the priests, the first of our ground meal, of our grain offerings, of the fruit of all our trees, and our new wine and olive oil. And we'll bring a tithe of our crops to the Levites, for it is the Levites who collect the tithes in all the towns where we work. A priest descended from Aaron is to accompany the Levites when they receive the tithes, and the Levites are to bring 1/10 of the tithes up to the house of our God, to the storerooms of the treasury. The people of Israel, including the Levites, are to bring their contributions of grain, new wine, and olive oil to the storerooms where the articles for the sanctuary and for the ministering priests, the gatekeepers, and the musicians are also kept. We will not neglect the house of God. Now the leaders of the people settled in Jerusalem. The rest of the people cast lots to bring one of every 10 of them to live in Jerusalem, the holy city, while the remaining 9 were to stay in their own towns. The people commended all who volunteered to live in Jerusalem. These are the provincial leaders who settled in Jerusalem: Now some Israelites, priests, Levites, temple servants, and descendants of Solomon's servants lived in the towns of Judah, each on their own property in the various towns, while other people from both Judah and Benjamin lived in Jerusalem. So here's Jerusalem. It's expansive, it's big, and no one's living in it. So they're casting lots to get the city filled. From the descendants of Judah, these are the people who went to Jerusalem: Attiah, son of Uzziah, son of Zechariah, son of Amariah, son of Shephatiah, son of Mahalalel, a descendant of Perez. Perez was Judah's son. And Messiah, son of Baruch, the son of Kolhezah, the son of Heziah, and son of Adiah, the son of Joiarib, the son of Zechariah, a descendant of Shelah. The descendants of Perez who lived in Jerusalem totaled 468 men of standing. From the descendants of Benjamin, Salu, son of Meshullam, the son of Joad, the son of Pedaiah, the son of Koliah, the son of Messiah, the son of Ithiel, the son of Jeshiah, and his followers Gabbai and Selai, 928 men. Joel, son of Zichri, was their chief officer, and Judah, son of Hasanua, was over the new quarter of the city. From the priests, Jedediah, the son of Joiarib, Jachin, Zariah, son of Hilkiah, the son of Meshullam, the son of Zadok, the son of Meriloth, the son of Ahatub, the official in charge of the house of God. Boy, they can really trace their lineage, can't they? And their associates who carried on work for the temple, 822 men. Adiah, son of Jeraham, the son of Pedaliah, the son of Amzi, the son of Zechariah, the son of Pashur, the son of Malchijah, and his associates were heads of families, 242 men. Amashai, son of Azrael, son of Azai, son of Meshillamoth, the son of Immer, and his associates, who were men of standing, 128. The chief officer was Zabdiel, son of Haggedolim. From the Levites, Shemaiah, son of Hashub, son of Azrikam, son of Hashabiah, son of Bunni, Shebetai, and Jozabad, two of the heads of the Levites, who had charge of the outside work of the house of God, so like tending the lawns and stuff. Mattaniah, son of Micah, the son of Zabdi, the son of Asaph, the director who led in thanksgiving and prayer, Bakbukiah, second among his associates, and Abda, son of Shemua, the son of Galai, the son of Jeduthun. The Levites in the holy city totaled 284. The gatekeepers, Akab, Talmon, and their associates who kept watch at the gates, 172 men. The rest of the Israelites with the priests and Levites were in all the towns of Judah, each on their ancestral property. The temple servants lived on the hill of Ophel, and Zihah and Gishpah were in charge of them. The chief officer of the Levites in Jerusalem was Uzzi, son of Bani, the son of Hashabiah, the son of Mattaniah, the son of Micah. Uzzi was one of Asaph's descendants, who were the musicians responsible for the service of the house of God. The musicians were under the king's orders, which regulated their daily activity. Okay, now they don't have a king in Jerusalem, so it must be the Persian king, whoever it is, Artaxerxes or Darius. At this point, Pedaiah, son of Meshezabel, one of the descendants of Zerah, son of Judah, was the king's agent in all affairs relating to the people. So he was the go-between. As for the villages with their fields, some of the people of Judah lived in Kiriath Arba and its surrounding settlements, in Dibon and its settlements, in Jekabzeel and its villages, in Jeshua, in Moladah and Beth Pelet, in Hazer Shual, in Beersheba and its settlements, in Ziklag, in Makona and its settlements, in En Rimmon, in Zorah, in Jarmuth, Zanoah, Adullam and their villages, in Lachish and its fields, and in Azekah and its settlements. So they were living all the way from Beersheba to the Valley of Hinnon. Valley of Hinnon was where their garbage dump was. Now, Adullam, I want to say, I had put up on my site today a pastor in Canada who was arrested twice. I have the video of him being arrested for having services in the days of COVID. And he's also the one that was telling the masked Nazis to get out of his church on Passover. Well, he's been arrested twice now because I'm sure they have it in for him. But his church is called the Cave of Adullam, and the Cave of Adullam is where David built his great army in the 14 years or however long he was hiding from Saul. All the people that joined him there believed he was the rightful king of Jerusalem or of Israel. And that's where he became very militarily mighty, is in the Cave of Adullam. So that's an interesting name for a church. The descendants of the Benjamites from Geba lived in Michmash, Aijah, Bethel and its settlements, in Anatoth, Nob, and Ananiah, in Hazor, Ramah, and Gittaim, in Hadid, Zeboim, and Nebalat, in Lod and Ono, and in G, which is Ge, Harashim. Some of the divisions of the Levites of Judah settled in Benjamin. These were the priests and Levites who returned with Zerubbabel, son of Shealtiel, and with Joshua: Sariah, Jeremiah, Ezra, Amariah, Maluk, Hattush, Shechaniah, Rehum, Meremoth, Iddo, Ginnathon, Abijah, Mijamin, Moadiah, Bilgah, Shemaiah, Joyrib, Jediah, Salu, Arna, Hilkiah, and Jediah. These were the leaders of the priests and their associates in the days of Joshua. The Levites were Jeshua, Binnui, Kadmiel, Sherebiah, Judah, and also Mattaniah, who together with his associates were in charge of the songs of thanksgiving. Bakbukiah and Unai, their associates, stood opposite them in the services. Joshua was the father of Joachim, Joachim the father of Eliashib, and Eliashib the father of Joiada. Joiada the father of Jonathan, Jonathan the father of Jaddua. In the days of Joachim, these were the heads of the priestly families: of Sariah's family, Meriah; of Jeremiah's, Hananiah; of Ezra's, Meshullam; of Amariah's, Jehohanan; of Malek's, Jonathan; Shechaniah's, Joseph; of Haram's, Adnah; of Meremoth's, Helkai; of Iddo's, Zechariah; of Ginnaton's, Meshullam; of Abijah's, Zikri; Miniamin's, and of Moadiah's, Pittai; of Bilgah's, Shemua; of Shemaiah's, Jehonathan; of Joarib's, Mattani; of Jediah's, Uzzi; of Salu's, Kalai; Amok's, Eber; of Hilkiah's, Hashabiah; of Jediah's, Nethanel. The family heads of the Levites in the days of Eliashib, Joiada, Johanan, and Jaddua, as well as those of the priests, were recorded in the reign of Darius the Persian. So we're getting a heck of a history lesson here, people. The family heads among the descendants of Levi up to the time of Johanan, son of Eliashib, were recorded in the book of the Annals. And the leaders of the Levites were Hashabiah, Sherebiah, Jeshua, son of Kadmiel, and their associates, who stood opposite them to give praise and thanksgiving, one section responding to the other as prescribed by David, the man of God. David was a wonderful musician, so he had them set up to sing and respond. One side would say one thing or sing one thing, the other side would respond in singing, so it must have been very beautiful. Mattaniah, and we'll see David's musicianship in Psalms. Mattaniah, Bakbukiah, Obadiah, Meshullam, Talmon, and Akab were gatekeepers who guarded the storerooms at the gates. They served in the days of Joachim, son of Joshua, son of Josadak, and in the days of Nehemiah the governor, and of Ezra the priest, the teacher of the law. At the dedication of the wall of Jerusalem, the Levites were sought out from where they lived and were brought to Jerusalem to celebrate joyfully the dedication with songs of thanksgiving and with the music of cymbals, harps, and lyres. The musicians were brought together from the region around Jerusalem, from the villages of the Netophatites, from Beth Gilgal, and from the area of Geba and Asmaveth. For the musicians had built villages for themselves around Jerusalem. So they all lived in little villages. When the priests and Levites had purified themselves ceremonially, they purified the people, the gates, and the walls. So this is a celebration. I had the leaders, that's Nehemiah talking, of Judah go up on the top of the wall. I also assigned 2 large choirs to give thanks. One was to proceed on top of the wall to the right towards the dung gate. Hoshea and half the leaders of Judah followed them, along with Azariah, Ezra, Meshullam, Judah, Benjamin, Shemaiah, Jeremiah, as well as some priests with trumpets. And also Zechariah, son of Jonathan, the son of Shemaiah, the son of Mattaniah, the son of Micaiah, the son of Zachar, the son of Asaph, and his associates, Shemaiah, Azarel, Milalai, Gilalai, Mal, Nethanel, Judah, and Hanani, with musical instruments prescribed by David, the man of God. Ezra, the teacher of the law, led the procession. Can you imagine how the enemies of Jerusalem must have hated this? They're having this little marching, singing procession to dedicate the wall and the gates. At the fountain gate, they continued directly up to the steps of the city of David on the ascent to the wall and passed above the site of David's palace to the water gate on the east. The second choir proceeded in the opposite direction. I followed them on top of the wall, together with half the people, past the tower of the ovens to the broad wall, over the gate of Ephraim, the Jeshanah gate, the fish gate, the tower of Hananel, and the tower of the 100. As far as the sheep gate, at the gate of the guard, they stopped. The 2 choirs that gave thanks then took their places in the house of God. So did I, together with half the officials, as well as the priests, Eliakim, Messiah, Miniamin, Micaiah, Elionai, Zechariah, and Hananiah with their trumpets, and also Messiah, Shemaiah, Eleazar, Uzzi, Jehohanan, Malchijah, Elam, and Ezer. The choirs sang under the direction of Jezrahiah. So Jezrahiah is the name of a choir director. And on that day, they offered great sacrifices, rejoicing because God had given them great joy. The women and children also rejoiced. The sound of rejoicing in Jerusalem could be heard far away. At that time, men were appointed to be in charge of the storerooms for the contributions, first fruits, and tithes. From the fields around the towns, they were to bring into the storerooms the portions required by the law for the priests and the Levites, for Judah was pleased with the ministering priests and Levites. They performed the service of their God and the service of purification, as did also the musicians and gatekeepers, according to the commands of David and his son Solomon. For long ago, in the days of David and Asaph, there had been directors for the musicians and for the songs of praise and thanksgiving to God. So in the days of Zerubbabel and of Nehemiah, all Israel contributed the daily portions for the musicians and the gatekeepers. They also set aside the portion for the other Levites, and the Levites set aside the portion for the descendants of Aaron. Okay, so tomorrow we will finish this book with chapter 13 and we'll go into Esther. Okay, so I love you very much. I'm praying for you. Pray for me. And I'll see you again tomorrow. You have a wonderful evening. Good night.